Thank you to Post 303 for facilitating this, putting it together, and making it happen indoors today. Special thank you. Also, I'd like to, as we remember all the fallen soldiers this Memorial Day, I would like to have a moment of silence for everyone that passed away from this pandemic. It's been a long 2 years. Some of us finally don't have masks on, and we're getting our life back to normal. However, there's a lot of, I call them quiet deaths that our office came across. You know, we're not going to mention any names, but there's a lot of soldiers that passed away from coronavirus. A lot of widows, a lot of people. I'd like you to ask everybody to keep their thoughts and prayers in their minds this Memorial Day. You know, it is also very important as we acknowledge everybody that passed away in the wars. This has also, in a sense, been a war here at home. So I'd like to have a moment of silence for that. Thank you. Also, I'd like to say that our office will be opened up on Tuesday, so we look forward to seeing everybody, having them come in, see us. We've been working all along, but now we can see everybody in person. We're happy to help and assist anybody financially or with anything we can do. Thank you. Now I'd like to welcome Mike Kelly as our Master of Ceremonies. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Before we start, I would like to ask you to please silence your phones. I understand that some of us need to be in communication with other people. If your phone does go off and you have to answer it, please go into the other room. Now, because of our limited space, we're not going to march the colors in. We have the fire department color guard and the police department color guard, but our colors are already in place. At this time, we'll salute the colors. Hand salute. Two.
Order. Off.
Patricia.
Good morning. So I'll try to pick a key if you'd like to sing along, because the anthem is always supposed to be sung, not just listened to. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Order. Off.
Thank you, Patricia. Our opening prayer will be by Pastor Karen Gale of the Old White Church.
Thank you for having me. My father is a Naval Academy grad and a Vietnam vet and served in the Naval Reserves, and so my heart is with service members and their families. And so let us pray together as we gather on this Memorial Day to honor our service members, those men and women who gave up their lives in service to this country and in service to the freedoms we all hold dear, as we gather united by our loss and our memories, united by friends and neighbors and family and community members who died to protect us and our country. And so let us pray. O Divine One, Memorial Day is shared by people of many faiths, and we ask you to hold our loved ones in light and in peace. You who created us and sustain us, hear our prayer. Hear our prayer for all who have died, whose hearts and hopes are known to you alone. Hear our prayer for those who put the welfare of others ahead of their own, and give us hearts as generous as theirs. Hear our prayer for those who gave their lives in the service of others and accept the gift of their sacrifice. Help us to shape and make a world where we lay down the arms of war and work to a harvest of peace. Comfort those who grieve the loss of their loved ones, and let your healing be the hope in their heart. Hear our prayer this day, and in your mercy answer us in the name of all that is holy. Amen.
We'll now have the Pledge of Allegiance by past Post 303 Commander Robert Flynn.
Present. On.
Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2.
Order. On.
We will now place a wreath in honor of all of our veterans. And at the same time, we will have taps played by Jake Silvera.
Present. On. Order. On.
At this time, we'll have the wreath placed by Mr. and Mrs. Flynn.
Just adjacent to the flag.
As we're starting our ceremony, I'd like to acknowledge, first of all, our honor guards. Unfortunately, today, because we have so little room, we weren't able to march the colors in, but they're here with us today. The Police Department Honor Guard and the Fire Department Honor Guard. And as you can see, we have veterans among us from Post 303 here and also from the VFW post. Because of the weather, there are other veterans who usually attend this ceremony, and they're not here today. But we usually are joined by members of the Blinded, Veterans of America, and from the Marine Corps League. I'm surprised that we don't have any Marines here.
We have one.
Oh. Congressman? Are you a member of the Marine Corps?
I'm not of the Marine Corps League. I'm a Marine Corps veteran.
Well, I'm sure there is someone in here who has an application. Willing to sign you up. All right. I would like to acknowledge the following individuals. Retired Fire Chief Peter Burke. Fire Chief Eric Hayter. Police Chief Mark Haslam. Also, Police Lieutenant Martin and Lieutenant Mooney. Susan Tavera, a retired town clerk. Diane Pelland, the town clerk. And town moderator, Paul Burke. At this time, we'll start our speaking program, and we will start with our former Marine, Jake Auchincloss.
Detail. Hurry. Left.
Good morning, and it's a privilege to be here with the Post 303 Command, with my colleagues in state and local government, and with the assembled guests, and especially with Pat Haddad. I've known Pat as a master legislator, as a gymnastics coach, as a source of counsel to me. I did not know that Pat had that set of pipes on her, though. Rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. We're gathered here today to honor the men and women who courageously fought to protect our country and who did not return. Memorial Day is one of the most important holidays for our country because our nation is built on an idea, the idea that all people are created equal and that the condition of your birth should not determine the outcome of your life. That idea is powerful, but it is fragile. It must ultimately be guaranteed by the willingness of citizens to lay down their lives for its protection. And for centuries, members of the armed forces have answered that call. Let us reflect on the gravity of their service so that we may center ourselves on the true meaning of Memorial Day and make the phrase, "Thank you for your service," more than just a reflexive courtesy. To those who made the ultimate sacrifice, to the veterans who came before me and who, unlike me, did not return, I say to their loved ones that the country is grateful and their memory will live on, not only with their families, but in the nation's history. Semper Fidelis, and God bless America.
Thank you, Jake. Our next speaker is State Representative Patricia Haddad.
Thank you, and good morning once again. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be invited to be among the people of Swansea. I know I get redundant, but I say it every year. Swansea remembers. Swansea not only remembers, but makes sure that the remembrance is, regardless of whether it can be indoors, outdoors, or old people, new people, it always has a sense that there are people here who truly, truly care. And so it's such an honor for me to be here today to remember those who did not return. It was interesting today, this week, that we learned that among our representatives, we now have a Gold Star father. I would say that, you know, one of the biggest things about our house is that it be representative of all of the people. But I'm sure that our newest member did not ever think that he would be a member of that exclusive club. So it really put, kind of highlighted for me that, and he lost his son in one of the newer conflicts, and it highlighted for me that things are not changing. Things are still staying quite the same. Young men and young women now go off to war, and some don't return. So it's always a pleasure to be here among you because you do remember, and you do know how difficult it is for Gold Star families. So once again, thank you for today, and God bless Swansea, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Our next speaker is Representative Stephen Howitt.
Good morning. Good morning. Echoing my colleagues, it's always difficult to come in after them because they seem to cover all the bases. But first of all, I want to thank everyone for being here, and I want to thank Post 303 for hosting us. I want to wish you all a safe and healthy holiday weekend, and I think it's important that you're here today for the remembrance. This holiday is more than cookouts and barbecues. It's about remembering over 1.1 million men and women who have perished in the wars that the U.S. has been involved in since 1775, and also the 81,700 missing in action. And fortunately, we have our chair here this morning so that we remember them as well. Our freedoms continue because of the sacrifices, the ultimate sacrifices that the members of our armed forces have given in order for us to continue our freedoms as we have them today. So that being said, I'd like to again thank you for being here and for the remembrance of these brave souls. And God bless you, God bless Swansea, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Our next speaker is the chairman of the Swansea Selectmen, Derek Heim.
Good morning, everyone. It's my privilege to bring greetings this Memorial Day on behalf of the Select Board and our citizens of Swansea. With me today are my fellow colleague Steve Kitchen, our vice chairman, and Christopher Carrero, our clerk, could not be with us today. A special thanks to Kevin Serpa and Jamie Bean for their diligent work to organize today's event, and all our town employees involved, including police, fire, highway, and clerical departments who make this event so successful each year. Thank you to the men and women who have continued to serve our country and have local ties to Swansea. As I'm sure you are all aware, as we enjoy this special day, rainy day, in our wonderful community, American men and women are placing themselves at risk on behalf of us in Iraq, Afghanistan, off the shores of Libya, and a dozen other places around the world. They are sacrificing their safety and their comfort so that we can be here, safe and comfortable. If we listen quietly, we can hear them. We may remember their voices or the conversations that they've had or that they gave to our families and friends each and every day. It is us, Americans, who gather here in a free society unified with the common purpose of honoring uncommon bravery. We are their legacy. Regardless of the place or the war they fought, the purity or the sacrifice is really without question. Young men and women lost their lives in order to make the freedom of others possible. The heroes that we remember today are not part of an exclusive club that's made up of different people. They are a diverse group of wedded, common people who believe America was worth dying for. So we should not only remember, we should celebrate their sacrifice of the Americans through many of generations who helped preserve our freedom. After you go back home today to your picnics, barbecues, or other events, take a moment to raise a glass to those individuals, living and dead, whose actions make it possible for us to enjoy what we have. God bless you, God bless America, and God bless Swansea.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Mallory Aronstein. She is our town administrator.
Hello. This is a very exciting event for me to be a part of because it's my first in Swansea. I've been here for about 7 months, but due to the pandemic, we were unable to gather. So I'm truly thankful for everyone who made it possible to be here, and to everyone who came out to celebrate and recognize those that have given everything for us. I echo the sentiments of everyone that spoke before me. Swansea is a fabulous community. It has been such a great pleasure getting to know it and to see these pillars of the community in all of you and those that have fallen before us and those that keep going and keep holding and moving us forward. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for coming, and hopefully next year we have a beautiful parade to really knock it out of the park and really give everything we can to celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mallory. Next, we'll hear from Carl Saweko. He is part of Swansea Emergency Management.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. As Derek mentioned and some of our other speakers, all the things have been said about Memorial Day, and some of them haven't. Thank you to our young congressman for joining us today. Learned more about him, a Marine. And he said something very important that struck me. He said that it doesn't matter how you were born and in what race you belong to. We all have an opportunity in this country to make a difference. And that's really what today's about, isn't it? Should it be a sunny day? I dare say not. This is the second Memorial Day that is so very different from any that I think I can ever remember, and I'm sure that all of you in this room can attest to the fact that this wasn't normal. This didn't seem, not that it wasn't right, but it just wasn't the same. But you know what? I think that there's some divine intervention here to make today deliberately a somber, rainy, gloomy day, to take away the distractions of this unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic that we've just gone through. Today marks the anniversary of the first day that we can take our masks off for those of us that have been vaccinated. It's a time of renewal, but it's also a time of reflection. It's a time when we should not look at pretty trees and look at wonderful greens, and they're so nice, but they distract us from what the true meaning is. The true meaning of today is to remember those who can't take their uniform off because they're not here. They died wearing that uniform. And they live on in spirit forever wearing that uniform. That's why we're here today. And thank you to all the speakers that spoke about what they did and how they did, and especially the Gold Star families. Those are the people who lived this horrific day, Memorial Day, every day. They called it Decoration Day. May 30th, 1868, I think, when this all began after the Civil War. People put flowers on graves because they just couldn't bear the magnitude of what happened on this day. That's what today's all about. And that's why we're all here. We're all here in Swansea, as you heard, because Swansea is a special place. I'm so very happy and honored to be here. I love the town. If you look all around the town, I don't care what department you look at or where you look or how you look, you see dedicated people who love each other, who love their community, and are here to help their fellow man. What better reason will we put on this earth but to help each other out? And today is not only a day to remember those that have fallen in battle, but we need to remember their families. How many Gold Star families are here today? Are there any? I thought we'd have at least one. Well, I was going to ask them to stand. But as we took that moment of silence, let us never forget what those people are going through every day. And the best way I think that we can honor these veterans is to speak with some of them. They all have stories to tell. They will all tell you about the stories of the comrades that they lost. In my 21 years at Battleship Cove, I've heard thousands of those stories. And every single story, I can guarantee you, is completely different than the one I had heard before. But there was one common thread in all of them. And that common thread was the emotion that that story embodied. What that meant to that person or that family or that group that lost that loved one, that forever changed their lives. Nothing will ever be the same. Fall River just put together that beautiful Vietnam Wall. If those of you who haven't gotten there, please do. I was honored to be at the ceremony. to see that magnificent wall. And in the shadow of that wall, directly across, is the Gold Star Family Monument. And standing right in front of the waterfront, we see those brave soldiers raise that flag in the Iwo Jima Memorial. That's some of the worst times in history. But the thing they needed to do was to make sure that that flag was raised amid the carnage and everything that happened, to say that this is America, to say that we will endure, to say that this will go on, we will not be defeated. That's what Memorial Day is all about. And it's for the people at home that protect us. We have veterans, we have wars. The current conflict now has been going on for 20 years and then some. And it's not over yet, as some of our speakers have mentioned. We have to remember those men and women and pray to God that they all come home. You and I know they probably all won't, but today's the day to remember those who never take that uniform off. And to our local uniformed individuals, those of our police and fire departments, they protect us on the home front, and they too have lost comrades in battle. They too have lost comrades on the home front. So Memorial Day is a day to remember their service to our community, tell them how much we appreciate and love what they do for us to protect us so that each of us can sleep at night and not have to worry, that we're in good hands. And also, Memorial Day is a day for all of you. It's a day for you to remember the loved ones that you've lost. Just because they did or didn't serve in battle doesn't mean you shouldn't remember them. So on a gloomy, rainy day, I don't think there's more appropriate weather to tell us what we need to do, and that's to remember. And thanks to all of our speakers, and especially thank you to all of you for taking the time out of your day to come here. We're in a place, unlike the Veterans Green, where we can have fellowship after this. There's going to be coffee, there's going to be donuts, there's going to be soda for the children, so we can tell some of those stories. We can talk about our loved ones. We can talk about what a great town and a great community we have. May God bless each and every one of you for what you do to make this community great. May God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you to all the speakers. Well, all right. So next up, we have our Citizen of the Year. And I found it ironic that simultaneously a couple of different people suggested this individual. And having worked with this individual and seeing everything that they do, I couldn't agree even more than what everybody said. So I would like to invite Carl Swaco up to say a few words on this individual, and I'd like to introduce Emily LaChance as Citizen of the Year. She is our town nurse.
Actually, I'm pinch hitting, truth be known, for Zachary Seabury, our town health agent. He wrote up this beautiful dialogue.
Could you mention that Jimmy Cavallo also wanted to express?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Jimmy Cavallo also wanted to express his sincere thank you and gratitude for working with Emily, and he wished he could be here in regards, but they had prior commitments, him and Zachary. Thanks.
So Zachary wrote this beautiful document, which probably should be framed, that talks all about our Emily LaChance. And I couldn't be more honored than to be the one to speak about Emily, because I've spent an awful lot of time with Emily over these last couple years on the COVID-19 task force that was led by our fire chief, Eric Hayter. It was quite an experience, let me tell you. In those early days, we couldn't get anything. PPE, our firefighters, our police officers, our paramedics, they just couldn't get PPE supplies. You heard about that. Well, this young lady forged on. She found things for us. She made things happen. You know, in a pandemic, you look for somebody who stands out. In a town, you look for a citizen who stands out. Put the two together, and what name do you have? Emily LaChance. Zachary talks about her working 7 days a week relentlessly, and I think anybody that was in the town hall annex would agree. I know I was helping the Somerset Swansea Coalition with the COVID-19 vaccine distribution. in my coordinated event as an emergency manager in the town. And let me tell you, Emily is relentless in making sure that our residents in our community were taken care of. Even got to the point where the state said, look, you guys are doing a nice job, but you're not doing enough. So the state took everything away from us and gave it to Gillette Stadium. And that was great because it worked fine, but there are certain people that couldn't get to Gillette Stadium. We needed it back. And who was the person that helped to forge our community, Somerset, Swansea, Fall River, Taunton, Attleboro, got together, the chiefs, the people that were in charge, and put together a proposal for the state that was sent to the state that said, look, they wanted someone that could do 750 a day, 5 days a week. Well, between all our communities, we were sure that we could do that. And through Emily's efforts, we got that back. So what more can you say? There is the person that's most qualified, I think, in this pandemic to be honored as our Citizen of the Year. There are a few other things that you should know about. Emily also serves with me, by the way, on the board of directors on the Swansea Ambulance Corps, among other things. Plus, she has her husband, Justin, and her 2 children, Alexander and Evelyn, to contend with. And thank you, Justin, for all you've done to make Emily available for all of us, to benefit us and to help our community be safe. Emily also administered over 2,500 vaccines, coordinated with EMS, fire, EMA, schools, and several volunteers. For those of you that don't know, Emily's also musical. Emily plays the organ at St. Louis de France, or at least she did before the pandemic, and that pulled her away from that. But I suspect she'll be going back to that at some point in time. She also has a lovely voice as well. I could just keep on going. But I think sweet, gentle, loving, and caring best describe Emily LaChance. Emily, would you please come forward? Justin and Alexander and Evelyn, come on and join. How about a big round of applause for Mama? Well, Emily, you know what's next, right? You have to say a few words. We're going to hear from Auntie Ann.
Thank you to everyone, to the committee, to everyone who I've worked with this last year. I really couldn't have made it through the last year without some very important people in this town, and Chief Hayter, Deputy Chief Patterson, Chief Haslam, everybody on the task force, Mallory, Board of Health, everyone. It wouldn't have been possible, especially without you guys, my family. It's been a long year for all of us, but hopefully we are nearing the end of the craziness that has been. So thank you all. I'm really not a speaker, but thank you.
So, next up, we usually do Student of the Year. Usually there's one Student of the Year. However, after much consideration, unanimously, we decided that we had to choose both of these candidates. They are both incredible students that excel at everything they do. They have wonderful, bright futures ahead of them, and we are excited to announce Benjamin Paquette and Emily D'Souza as our Students of the Year. I will be asking these to come up one at a time and say a few words. Ben, please come up.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ben Paquette, and I'm honored to be Swansea Student of the Year and a graduating senior of the class of 2021 at Joseph Case High School. My past 4 years have been spent at our exceptional institution that we are privileged to call our high school, and have been nothing but of the highest quality. Graduating for me and my peers will be bittersweet, However, the skills our school has crafted and sharpened will lead the class of 2021 down a successful and triumphant journey. I would primarily like to acknowledge the importance of this Memorial Day and honor all those who sacrificed their time and lives for our freedoms. As many say, freedom is not free, and those who humbly uphold our values deserve our utmost respect and gratitude. Thank you for your service to all veterans in attendance today and across our great nation. Your sacrifices have established the most exceptional nation to ever exist in history and has created some of the brightest scholars known to mankind. Our entire student body at Joseph Case High School has everything to thank for the inspiring faculty and staff. Students come first at our high school, and the faculty enforces that assertion. Many say that the teachers are extraordinary, and that would be an understatement. Teachers turn into mentors at our high school, and they form special relationships with students to exemplify our 21st century learning expectations. Without many of the educators I've met throughout my high school career, I wouldn't be who I truly am today. Our entire community also looks highly upon our principal, Brian McCann, and assistant principal, Christopher Costa. Their leadership throughout my high school journey has been inspiring, exemplary to say the least. Although they are my superiors, they have continued a special bond with me, as well as many students surrounding me, which truly creates a noteworthy connection and understanding amongst our community. I am very proud and humbled to be receiving this reward, as it withholds the highest standards in which I promise to uphold, embolden, and inspire on my journey, continuing my family tradition to become a paramedic firefighter and serve my surrounding community. Thank you for your time, and God bless America.
Forgot to mention earlier, that was a Joseph Case High School recipient. And now for the Diamond Regional recipient. Please come up, Emily. I know you're nervous, but it's okay. You just look at your friends and family. Come on up.
I need to put this a little lower. I just want to say that I'm not a good speaker, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I know Ben's was very good, but so I just want to say how proud I am and thankful to everyone for believing in me and supporting me throughout the years. I just want to say how honored I am to be receiving this award. The past 4 years at Diamond, I really tried to push myself to be the best student I can be, and this award really proves to me, and I hope to everyone, that all my hard work really did pay off. I just want to say thank you to my friends and family for supporting me throughout the years. I really couldn't have done all the things I did without you guys. And thank you to everyone here for presenting me this award, and thank you to the veterans for sacrificing their lives for me. Thank you.
I want to express a few thank yous now. Thank you to the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, and all the leadership and their family members for decorating the flags. It was a very successful day. Also want to mention that Jason Aruda won the State Eagle Scout of the Year. I don't know if Jason's here today, but a round of applause for him in lieu of. I want to say thank you to Commander Bob Flynn as well for everything and all the support that you do. Thank you. Special thank you to Don Banville, who came out and helped assist the green, and despite all the hardships and setbacks that he's going through, he's still plugging away and coming out and helping assist. I really appreciate that, Don. Thank you. I want to say thank you to Ron Benjamin and everybody truly at the Highway Department for everything that they do in maintaining the green. I know that Ronnie was a little, wish we could be there to appreciate all the grass. When you drive by, take a look. They do an unbelievable job down there for us, so thank you to them. Also want to mention that we have ongoing brick sales, and we're going to be fully open again on Tuesday. So if anybody knows any veterans in need or anybody they talk to, send them down right to our office. We're more than willing to assist them with anything that they need. And in the future, we're going to be trying to bring in some, different classes. We're going to be working with the library. I know that Dawn from the American Legion here is trying to work, putting something together, and we greatly appreciate that. So whether it be mortgage refinancing or anything else, we're going to take a wide look at everything now that we're open and pulling resources, and hopefully have some fun this year. With that being said, I would like to invite up Pastor Karen Gale for the closing prayer, and then turn the closing over to Mike Kelly afterwards. Thank you.
Gentlemen, please uncover.
Let us pray. O Holy Divine Spirit, who unites us on this Memorial Day, you carry our grief, you carry our memories, you carry our loved ones to that peaceful, quiet, and beautiful place where you call us all home. Send us out this day to remember our service members, those brave men and women who did not return home, and unite us together that we might carry on in their mission and in their memory. Amen. Amen.
That concludes today's ceremony. As it was mentioned earlier, there will be coffee and donuts and soda for the kids, all the kids at heart. I would like to say an additional thank you. I'd like to thank the members of the Post that turned out to set up the hall and get everything ready at literally the last minute, because we had all expected to be at the Green. Also, our auxiliary often goes unrecognized. They're often working in the background, but they're a big help to us, and without them, we wouldn't get quite so much done. So thank you to the auxiliary and to the Post members. With that, we'll have a closing salute. Hand salute.
Present on.
2.
Order on.
Thank you. Enjoy the refreshments.